Good afternoon, Suidlanders. How are you? We trust that you are well in these unsettling times. Excuse me. Yesterday I made a video about some ladies I'd met the previous day concerning, excuse me while I just get this away from my doggy, otherwise she'll be chewing it in our ears before long, about some ladies who came to see me to ask for advice about relocating, and the charming conversation I had with them. And I spoke about just the principle of riding out of the events that are unfolding around us and the circumstances and the conditions that are resulting. She's making an exit. Anyway, it occurred to me when I finished making the video that I should have said something, so now I'm throwing it in. This is entirely my own opinion. I would like to believe that it's not entirely my own opinion and that I am correct. But it's to do with Oomsina van Rensburg's prophecies. And you and I know that he was quite explicit that some people would say that I said this, and some people shall say that I said that. I shall be much in the news again in many years to come, or in those times, or whatever was the exact words that he used. Some will say I said this, implying that there's going to be either a lot of ignorance or a lot of bull dusting, or a combination of both. I don't want to be a bull duster. I have enough faults that I don't want to be guilty of, you know? It's like that concept of honor among thieves. If you hang around with bad people for long enough, you soon discover that they have very hard and fast rules. Doesn't make them good people, but they're not lenient about some things. And I don't want to be guilty of bull dusting, so I'm going to give you what must be for your purposes. I'm convinced I'm right, but you should not be. Given that I could be wrong, Oomsina prophesied that many people would be incorrect. She's back. Oh. And so this is what I want to say about my understanding of the books that I've read about Oomsina van Rensburg's prophecies and the originals. I don't have it anymore. I had his daughter's original, you know, like a copy of the original, but with no annotations, no nothing, just boom, her own words. And I've got another document here that covers his prophecies without anybody or very little input. And from all of that reading, I have long understood. I'm going to look up a word here quickly. Handboek van die Afrikaanse taal. Let me press pause. Okay, the word or the phrase that I'm looking for is trappe van vergelyking. Degrees of comparison. There are 4 prophecies that stick out for me for being similar to degrees of comparison. Trappe van vergelyking. Which is like good, better, best. Good, better, best. Steps of comparison, or degrees of comparison in English. Oomsina van Rensburg said, as I have it, you may disagree. Don't take me at my word. This is a dicey area. That in that time, seemingly referring to the time of tribulation, for want of a better word, in this country, for us, die jong pronk Afrikaner bulle speel met hulle horings op die noordoever van die groot rivier. I've heard people say it a little bit this way, a little bit that way, embellish it a little bit here, impute a bit of meaning here, infer a bit of meaning there, but roughly in that time they will be. The Jong Pronk Afrikaner Bulle being an apparent reference to the best of the Afrikaner people. We can talk about playing with their horns, making ready for warfare, this, that, but in the simplest terms, the committed conservatives, those who give up everything and they go to a place, those who are most committed, most sincere. Or to a region. Doesn't matter if I'm out by a little bit here or there, although I insist I could be completely out, and that's a different matter. But let's keep it simple. 5% here or there, not serious. Not serious to the point of this video. It then says, Ek gaan af na de weste toe. In a separate prophecy. As far as I know, they're not in the same breath. They were not said in the same breath, in the same place, on the same occasion. Ek gaan af na de weste toe. You can read the books yourself. I've just got 2 new ones. Generously given to me by a Satellander member. To read more about this stuff. To become more certain. And ek gaan af na de weste toe. Now, it's a well understood thing. Again, I'm going to ask you to give me latitude here. If I'm entirely wrong, then we must throw it all out. But 5% here or there, not serious. There is a general understanding, if you ask me, given the people that I've spoken to and what I've read, that when Oomsina van Rensburg features himself, he features in a prophecy or a vision, whatever, he represents the ordinary Afrikaner boer. I don't want to get, please, into the semantics of Afrikaner versus boer, the Cape, the this, but the ordinary person as opposed to the super conservative gelovige. He represents the people he loves. He is not in his own, in the vanity of his dreams, as it were, as te ware, so te sprake. He is not the holy one. You know, he's just an ordinary icon for his beloved volk. He says, Ek gaan af na de weste toe. So we had the people that are already there, they're there. Now you've got people going there, gaan af, drentel soontoe, ambling, strolling, walking, moving, going. Okay, so they're those that are still there, those that are going. Then he talks about die gryshoender wat hol onder deur die draad met die swart hoender kort op haar hakke. And that appears, certainly to some people, it seems to refer to the less than gemiddelde Afrikaner boer. The less than gemiddelde volksgenoot. You know, kind of an assimilated person. The Jews talk about that. They would say you have the ultra-Orthodox, who have various names. The Frum, the Hasidim, the whatever. Then the Orthodox, those who observe their religion, but they're not the super-duper stars. And then you have those that are a little bit too worldly. And then lastly, and we'll come to this, then you have those who are You know, they might as well not be Jewish. And I just use the Jewish thing because it's a very well-known thing, very well explained, so it's a good metaphor. Okay. A useful metaphor. Useful comparison. So he says, these grijshoenders, they haul and they make it. And lastly, he talks of those wat in die leeu se bek invlug. Hulle vlug in die leeu se bek in. They flee into the mouth of the lion. So you've got the people who are already here, they've got no reason to do anything except play. Play with their horns. Then you've got the people who have to go down and take it easy. Stop at the one stop, engine one stop. Pick up a Coke. Coke and a pie. Maybe some wimpy. Then you've got those that have to dash. Just make it. And then you've got those who have to flee. Those who are already, those who go, those who dash, haul, sprint if you like, and those who flee. So the bedreiging is right here. There's a direct threat. Even more so than the black hen behind the grey hen. And they flee into the trap. Now, I'm preaching to the converted. I know that 95% of the people who watch this video will already be conscious of this idea, and that is why you have prepared so diligently and so assiduously. I mean, I meet people, you know, and they can tell me about roots and, oh, geez, in their Christian consciences, they have figured out every single possibility for what is going to save their lives, to get them and their families to safety. But there may be a small percentage of people who've never heard this thinking before, and it may help one little girl, please God, one terrified little boy, if their mommy and their daddy learn something from this conversation today. Not everybody can move here. We discussed that in the previous video. The video to which this is an addendum. Or a second part, a part 2 if you like. But really an addendum. Getting out of the cities, if there should be a spontaneous or very sudden outbreak of anarchy on a large scale especially, but not only in the Transvaal and Free State. And Natal, but you know what I'm talking about, the Highveld, the bigger cities, the extended, what is the word in English? I can't think of it, but you know, I mean, by the time you're done with Sasol, the heart of Johannesburg is halfway through the Free State, is what I'm trying to say. That. God willing, this is a useful reminder, or a useful, you know, lesson for the first time about this thing, about this idea of not being the last, of having the faith to leap early. Not everybody can do it. And in my heart, I promise you, my heart is sore for those people for whom it is impossible to leave their circumstances, though they wish with everything in their soul that they could do so, that they could get away, that they could afford to come down here, that they weren't held back by parents or children or other loved ones or wives or husbands who don't believe. My heart is sore for you. I share your pain. I'm not going to go into why I do, but I do. But if that was useful to you, then good. Good. It's good that you should know if it's useful. That Sinner was pertinent about this, according to me. When that time happens, they are already the young pronk, the best of the Afrikaners are already there. He, just an ordinary, modest Afrikaner, he strolls down. Maybe driving his herd of sheep, his flock of sheep. And then there's some people a bit too, sail close to the wind and just make it. And then very sadly, those who are only convinced when the threat is on their doorstep, when they are staring danger in the face, are convinced to hear and to take action and to do and to believe. But it is too late for them. And their flight is into worse rather than into better. Anyway, enough is enough. Thank you very much for watching this video. Goodbye, and God bless you and yours for the dimming time into which we now go. Bye-bye.